Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Report in Italy today suggests that Napoli midfielder Allan is set to leave the club. His relationship with Gattuso has broken down and he's likely to leave at some point whenever that transfer window is open after whenever this season is finished. And the reports over there are saying, as we expected, that Everton are interested in the player. The 29-year-old who was obviously got big fans at Everton, obviously the manager being the biggest after coaching him when he was at Napoli. Really interested in him, and he would actually, massively fit into the Everton team going forward. So he is 29, as we've said. The fee before all this stuff happened seemed to be quite large. What that fee would be now, with the world a very, very different place, I don't know, but it would probably fit in more with what Everton would be prepared to spend. Obviously, as he said, Carlo Ancelotti's a massive admirer of him, and it looks like he will leave Napoli. And if Carlo Ancelotti wants him, this could be the time to get him. We'll wait and see. Obviously, we don't know when that will be, when the season will be finished, and when that does happen, we'll let you know. Talking about the Premier League, apparently 9 Premier League teams have said that they want the Premier League to finish by the end of June. They do not want to get into a situation where it drags on past and they have to start sorting out contracts for players, for kits, for sponsors. The end of June is the traditional day of the end of a season, and the 1st of July being the traditional start of the following season. So that is when contracts are basically put in place for everything in football, and it going on past the 30th of June would create a unprecedented scenario where all these things are going to have to be sorted out and contracts are going to have to be rewritten for literally everything. So, every club out there will have new kits due around that time, maybe new sponsors, players leaving, players coming. How does that all get worked out if the season goes past that point? So apparently at least nine teams have spoke about this so far, and are trying to find a formula of how essentially Liverpool can conclude the season as champions, and how relegation is done as well. What that formula is, I don't know, whether it be 2, 3, 4 games a day over the space of 4 or 5 weeks, probably shorter than that, I would imagine. We don't really know. This comes on the day that Germany apparently have banned all sporting events till September. There is apparently going to be the allowance of ghost games, which would be games behind closed doors, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. And also, the scientists out there saying there ain't going to be a vaccine for another 18 months, so there can't be any full stadiums for 18 months. Again, social distancing is going to be staying in effect for some time. So there's a lot up in the air at the moment, and we really don't know how this is going to conclude. I think we do know that football will be back, but it will be back behind closed doors I would imagine, around June time. But if the rules as we speak aren't relaxed, does that mean that footballers can't train? If they can't train, then obviously they can't come back. Does football just have to make a decision and say that if it's not back by the end of June, that it's either null and void, or whatever it is when the time it comes back? Is that it? We've got teams, League One and League Two teams, saying they want the season to be finished now, so that they basically get their money. There is a danger that a lot of those clubs could go out of business if this drags on and there's no end date. It really is an unprecedented mess at the moment, and I think something just has to be agreed upon, whether it be June the 30th is the end date, or we get a structure in place. These things I'm sure will be happening behind closed doors, but I do feel for those teams in the bottom divisions, just like Scotland, there needs to be something more concrete, because for those clubs it really is about going out of business, rather than where the Premier League is just get it done, get relegation done, get the the get Liverpool confirmed as champions done. So interesting times, obviously, as we all know, out there at the moment. But you know, the two big takes from that are well, for me, is that around the stadiums, around maybe no full stadiums for 18 months, coming from Germany and from this country as well. So we'll get football back sooner or later. Whether we get to enjoy it at a stadium is a different story entirely. And just finally, David Moyes has been talking to Keys and Gray over in Qatar on beIN Sports Network. He was asked about a lot of things, one of them being his time leaving Everton, which I think he said he regretted. But what he was asked about players that he never got a chance to sign or got very close to signing. He said his biggest one was Michael Essien for Everton. Came very, very close to getting Michael Essien, but just couldn't get it over the line. He said there was a few players like that at Everton. Hazard was one of those players as well. Tried very, very, very hard to get him, and he said Michael Essien was the biggest regret of not being able to get him. He mentioned Tony Cruz at Man United as well, but that was for different reasons. But Michael Essien, purely on financial terms, Everton couldn't quite get him. And you just think, what if Everton could have got Michael Essien in his prime? That Everton team as well would have been fantastic. So yeah, check more of that out. I think it's on YouTube, on the beIN Sport YouTube. Keys and Gray doing their daily shows over there as well. So yeah, there you go. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We're trying to get up to 40,000 subs. Get us there if you haven't subscribed already. And if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. We've got loads going on there. Daily live shows. There's a chat we had yesterday with Kevin Campbell. That's up there as well. Doing a lot of interviews at the moment, trying to speak to a lot of Everton ex-players and a lot of Everton fans at the moment, just trying to get their feelings on everything going on. So make sure, if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.